The night stretched its ominous tendrils over the small town of Ravens Hollow as I approached the old dilapidated mansion at the edge of the woods. The real estate agent had assured me it was a hidden gem, a steal at the price. But the sinking feeling in my stomach told me otherwise. The wind whispered through the gnarled branches of the surrounding trees, creating an eerie symphony that sent shivers down my spine. As I stepped through the creaking front door, the air inside the mansion was thick with an indescribable malevolence. The flickering candlelight barely penetrated the oppressive darkness that clung to the walls like a living entity. An unsettling silence settled over the ground foyer, broken only by the distant howl of a lonely wolf. I moved cautiously through the dimly lit corridors, each step echoing through the empty halls like a solemn drumbeat. The mansion seemed frozen in time, as if holding its breath, waiting for an unsuspecting victim to awaken the horrors within. My rational mind urged me to leave, but a morbid curiosity kept me pressing forward. As the night wore on, strange occurrences became a chilling routine. Shadows slithered across the walls when there was no light source, and disembodied whispers murmured unintelligible words in the dead of night. Objects moved on their own accord, as if the very walls were alive with a sinister energy. I tried to dismiss these incidents as mere tricks of the imagination, but the unease in my gut told me there was something far more insidious at play. One particularly cold night, as I lay in bed, the floor beneath me trembled with a faint but unmistakable vibration. I dismissed it as a passing tremor until the walls themselves seemed to groan, as if the mansion itself were alive. I could feel a palpable sense of dread, a force that pressed down on me from all sides. As I navigated the labyrinthine corridors, a door beckoned to me at the end of a long, dimly lit hallway. I approached it cautiously, the air growing heavier with each step. The door creaked open with a grating sound, revealing a room bathed in an eerie red glow. The walls were adorned with macabre symbols, and in the center of the room stood a mirror, its surface reflecting a distorted version of reality. As I gazed into the mirror, my reflection began to warp and contort. My eyes, once familiar, turned bloodshot and vacant. A guttural whisper echoed through the room, reverberating within the depths of my mind. The mirror seemed to pull me into its depths, revealing a nightmarish version of myself, a grotesque figure with elongated limbs and a twisted smile. I stumbled backward, the room spinning around me. The once welcoming mansion had become a nightmarish labyrinth, its walls closing in with each passing moment. The air became a suffocating abyss, and I struggled to maintain my grasp on reality. In my desperation, I sought answers from the locals. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones of a curse that had befallen the mansion centuries ago. Legend had it that a malevolent entity, hungry for souls, had taken residence within the decaying walls. The mansion was a living entity, feeding off the fear and despair of those unfortunate enough to call it home. Determined to break the curse, I delved into the town's archives, searching for clues about the mansion's dark past. The truth revealed itself in a series of yellowed documents and faded photographs. The mansion had once been the site of unspeakable rituals, a place where a secret society performed dark ceremonies to summon otherworldly entities. As I unraveled the sinister history, the mansion seemed to rebel against my efforts. The walls pulsed with an unholy energy, and the air itself seemed to resist my investigation. I could hear the disembodied whispers growing louder, a chorus of tormented souls that echoed through the haunted halls. In a hidden chamber beneath the mansion, I discovered a forbidden tome bound in human flesh. The pages were filled with eldritch symbols and ancient incantations, each word resonating with an unnatural power. I realized that the curse was intricately tied to the rituals performed by the secret society, and the malevolent entity within the mansion hungered for a sacrifice to strengthen its grip on the living. In a desperate bid to sever the connection, I recited an incantation from the forbidden tome. The air crackled with dark energy, and the mansion itself seemed to rebel against the ritual. Shadows danced along the walls, contorting into grotesque shapes as the malevolent force fought to maintain its hold. With a deafening roar, the entity manifested before me, a towering, amorphous mass of darkness. Its eyes, cold and malevolent, bore into my soul as it unleashed a guttural scream that shook the very foundations of the mansion. The air became charged with an otherworldly energy, and I felt a searing pain as the entity clawed at the fabric of my being. As the incantation reached its climax, the mansion quaked with a final violent tremor. The entity let out a deafening wail, its form dissipating into a whirlwind of shadows before vanishing into the abyss. The mansion, once a nightmarish labyrinth, returned to a state of eerie stillness. As dawn broke over Raven's Hollow, I stumbled out of the mansion. The weight of the curse lifted from my shoulders. The townsfolk, unaware of the horrors that had unfolded within the decaying walls, continued their lives as if nothing had happened. The mansion, now a silent sentinel on the outskirts of town, held its secrets close. But as I walked away, I couldn't shake the feeling that the malevolent force within the mansion had not been destroyed, merely suppressed. The haunted house, with its dark history and eldritch horrors, would forever cast a shadow over my soul, a chilling reminder that some nightmares are best left undisturbed.